We now have a few of the upper cabinets in, and they're not only screwed to the wall, studs here, but they're also screwed to each other here and here. That brings the joints of the cabinet really tight together to give it a nice tight finish look. You cannot see daylight between them. On the lower cabinets, they are also going to be screwed into the wall. I don't have the screws in yet, but I've identified where my studs are. There's another one. Over here, there's one. So we'll drill a hole, pilot hole through, and then give it a nice 2.5 or 3-inch screw all the way into that stud. But the cabinets are also screwed into each other. So we have drilled some pilot holes here, another one here, and once we get the cabinets absolutely lined up and level, then we'll screw them together and boom, they'll be nice and tight. To make sure that they're level, we bring the level in and we put shims as necessary down underneath. That's a shim. Basically, you just take your piece of wood underneath, hammer, hammer, hammer a little bit, break it off, then eventually your toe kick, little piece of wood that covers up the particle board, goes right there and you cannot see those little shims. This is a Lazy Susan cabinet for the corner. I always prefer Lazy Susans whenever I've got room for them, just because they're a lot more usable space than simply a what they call a blind corner, which is a regular cabinet that goes in and you gotta go into it through a cabinet right here and reach around this way. I don't like blind corners. I like the Lazy Susans. However, they are not the full-size cabinet all the way to the wall. They're a little bit short. They're made that way. There's no reason for them to be any bigger because the turntable only takes up so much space. So to make up the difference between the back of this cabinet, you can see they're together up here in the front, but in the back there's about 7.5 inches difference than the next cabinet over. Make up the difference, I simply use some 2x4s. So here's one drilled into the studs, here's one drilled into the back of the cabinet, and then I put a block on top about 7 3/8 inches long, and then I'll put screws here, 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 and here. We do one on this side as well, same thing, and that keeps this cabinet where it's supposed to be in relationship to the wall, keeps it nice and tight in. It also gives you a nice sturdy place for the granite to go on top of. It is flush with the rest of the cabinet. Just looking at it from the side, there she is, nice and sturdy. This is going to be the sink base cabinet, so you can see our plumbing there. We had to make a couple adjustments in the back of the cabinet to make sure that the plumbing came through. The plumbing, as you can see, came through the wall there, but we had to make sure it came through the cabinet. So we just cut as needed, and there you have it. Almost done with hanging the cabinets now. Normally, I would hang all the upper cabinets first, which I have done except for one, and then work on the lowers. We're just about done with all of them. The reason why I've saved this upper cabinet till the very last is because it needed to go up here next to this, which is a pantry. The pantry couldn't go in until these base cabinets were in. If for any reason I had put this in, screwed it against the wall, and then there wasn't enough room for 1, 2, 3 cabinets, then I would have been screwed. So we had to wait and put this in second to the last, and then this cabinet will go right here. One other little thing to note is on the upper cabinets, I wanted a little bit more interest and a little more usable space above the refrigerator. So I popped this cabinet out, about 5 inches. I did that by adding 2x4s to the back of it. All cabinetry has an unfinished portion down here underneath. This is called the toe kick area. To make that look finished, with these cabinets and with most cabinets, you can buy a pre-finished, actually it's just a little laminate piece of fiberboard, pre-finished piece of wood that goes in here and covers that up. Then we take our handy dandy brad nailer gun and find a starting place. These pieces come in 8-foot pre-finished lengths. So I cut this to 93 3/4 inches just to fit our spot, and then that's it, all the way down.